is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some... Wait a minute, what is this? Resident Evil 4 Remake on the VR2? Yeah, I thought about it because they had the little sale on it recently in the past week and a half. And I was thinking about it, and I just eventually said, you know what, if I'm thinking about it this long enough, I might as well just, get it and try it. Because I've always wanted to play the Resident Evil games on the VR because I heard they're really good. Now, I will warn you right now, I have never played on a VR in my entire life, and I'm going to warn you, you're in for some terrible, terrible gameplay. Terrible. I'm garbage. I mean, I'm basically like a newborn baby just learning how to walk. I am absolutely trash. So I'm just warning you in advance, so I guess at least you can look at it like this, at least you can laugh at how bad it is, but just warn you beforehand. But enough about me, let's get into what I want to talk about today. Now, with all the whole Summer Games Festival thing died down, everything, I saw something online, and I remember it when it initially did. I never took part in it, but I remember it being a thing. But I remember Capcom had a poll, or I forget what, election or something, where they asked a bunch of questions, and you could answer multiple options with it. And well, eventually they had the results to that whole poll, election, whatever you want to call it. And I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to see the results yourself. And some of the questions, if you're curious what they were basically like, what's your favorite game from Capcom? And these are all Capcom properties, by the way. What's your favorite game? What's your, who's your favorite character, favorite male character, favorite female character, etc., etc., etc. But one of the options that was definitely the one that got me very interested, as well as some of the answers for the other ones too, but this is the one I really was curious about, was one of the questions was, of all the games and IPs we have in Capcom, which one do you want to see a brand new title in? Now, a brand new title could also be like, a brand new title or remake. It could be anything. And the number one answer, it's that thing that's tortured me for the last 2+ decades. If you don't know me, I'll let you know a little secret about me, is that if there is one game, if I could will it into existence, I could just snap my fingers Thanos style and just basically guarantee it exists and bring it back right now more than any other video game right now on the planet, it would be a Dino Crisis. And I guess a Dino Crisis remake, but I will have an interesting question about Dino Crisis at the end of it. But yeah, Dino Crisis was the number one answer. And it was nice to see that, hey, even after all this time, it's nice to see that fans have not forgotten. Because it's been a long time. I mean, you probably got a lot of people. And by the way, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how I did not hit that person at all. But yeah, I'm about to get bodied here. But anyway, I was just thinking, like, a lot of people probably don't even know what the hell Dino Crisis is. I mean, it's been over 2+ decades, and no, I do not count Dino Crisis 3 as a Dino Crisis game. I just pretend that one does not exist. I mean, I know a lot of people might compare it to be like, hey, Dead Space 3, but I'll take Dead Space 3 a million times any day of the week over Dino Crisis 3. I still don't know what they were smoking, thinking with that. I just pretend that doesn't exist. So, Dino Crisis 2, I know they had the one, I guess, kind of spin-off game. I think it was called Dino Stalker or something. I forget the name of it, but I remember the cover because it had the one guy and a woman on the cover of it or something, but it was like a rail shooter or something. But anyway, Dino Crisis 2 was the last, I think, true official Dino Crisis game, and ever since then, it has just been it's been more extinct than the dinosaurs itself. And I mean, and it's sad because it's the first survival horror game I ever played. It's the one that got me into the franchise. I'm always going to have fond memories of Dino Crisis. And nothing would make me more happy to see Dino Crisis get brought back. And it was nice to see Dino Crisis very high up on a lot of other things. Like, for instance, I think Regina was like I don't know if it was World or Japan, but some of those guys, she was like the second most voted female character, which amazed me because, once again, this is a character we haven't seen in over 2+ decades. But then again, I guess, the top one for Resident Evil, Jill, is another character in terms of brand new titles, not remakes we haven't seen in a while too. And then, you had other ones, like Claire and Chun-Li and Ada, et cetera, et cetera. But I was happy to see Regina because I'm just like, I'll be honest, once again, it wasn't like Dino Crisis was like the most popular thing in the world. So I'm still amazed that so many people still remember it, and it makes me feel great about it in terms of its chances of coming back. Because another thing I do, and this is you can tell this is pure copium here, but the RE engine is the current engine used right now, but eventually it's going to be the REX engine, or as I like to call it, the Rex engine. And I was like, why would they call it Rex engine if it wouldn't even have some dinosaur thing? And no, it has nothing to do with that. But the point is, when you're that desperate for something, that's just how it goes. But nonetheless, I was just basically at this point just hoping for anything, and seeing people remember DinoCrisis so fondly, even to this day. But I just look at it like this: the potential of doing it really well. There's one thing, if you want to do comparisons, is like a lot of the early enemies in a lot of the early Resident Evil games are usually like zombies or stuff like that. It wasn't until like 4 came out that you had like a lot of the enemies, running after you and stuff, like the normal enemies, not like the extraordinary enemies like hunters or something like that. In Dino Crisis, the most common enemy is the Velociraptor. And guys, I'll be honest with you right here. I know I keep interrupting myself, but this is the hardest concept for me with this VR thing. Is a concept of constantly reloading and shooting and doing it all while I'm just trying to fight everybody. I think that's the hardest thing for me, because it's a hard concept to do all that stuff. Because I just look at myself playing the normal game, and now I'm trying to play the VR way, and it's a completely different ball game. So it's definitely going to be a lot of trial and error here. So if you're wondering what the hell is this guy doing, I'm trying to figure it out. But I guess I'd rather learn, start from the beginning and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just hard to constantly be ejecting the mag, reloading it, and aiming and shooting. But once again, I've never played a VR game. Maybe this wasn't the game I should have started out with on the VR, but I wanted to go to RE4 Remake first, so I guess I got to learn the hard way. But anyway, yeah, the Velociraptors were the most common enemy in Dino Crisis, and they were fast as hell. They were on your ass, if not just busting through the ceiling, busting through the glass, jumping over the fence. Like, they were very tenacious, and you had to be really smart with what you did and save a lot of your ammunition and just know your paths, or use those laser walls to block them from getting you. But the point is that you had to really pay attention, and they were no joke. And to me, having that, but on the REX engine, because I assume if they ever were to do Dino Crisis, because I'm just guessing they probably not have anything started now, if they ever were to do, or maybe they do. Maybe I just, who knows. But my point is that it'd probably be on the REX engine. So I would just love to see that come to fruition. But once again, here's the reality, and this is the saddest part that I have to accept too. It's this whole election poll thing could be absolute BS. I know some people are like, oh, well, they have to listen now, and they don't have to do anything, guys. Capcom don't have to do a damn thing. They could look at this and be like, yeah, you know what? Who cares? Let's just keep making non-stop Resident Evil games, and not to mention, I'm just speaking from Dino Crisis. How many Capcom IPs have just gone completely just MIA? I mean, there are so many of them. I mean, I know I hear so many. Like, here's another one. I do like this franchise a lot, too, is Darkstalkers. That's another one that's been just completely missing. And I remember playing that as a kid. I just like the whole concept of the monsters and creatures and stuff like that, more than just normal fighters and all the other fighting games. But it was just kind of a unique aesthetic. But you have Darkstalkers, and then you have Mega Man. I always hear about poor Mega Man just getting no love. Like, at one point, he was the face of Capcom. There was no doubt about it. I mean, Mega Man was so huge, but he was pretty high up in a lot of these polls. But it's just, I think Breath of Fire is another one. Onimusha. I mean, the list goes on. There are so many IPs, and once again, it gets real frustrating because, like, for instance, I remember last year when they had the whole Exoprimal, and obviously that thing did not pan out to what they want it to be, and it's just like, come on now, like, you have a dinosaur related thing, it's Capcom, and you're not gonna have Dino Crisis? Like, come on, like, that's just BS. And guys, you wonder why I keep hitting the I don't know why. I'm trying to shoot, and every time I'm trying to shoot and reload, it's like my hand hits the buttons I'm not even trying to hit, just in the heat of the moment. So it's a struggle, man. The struggle is real. I don't know what's struggling more. Dino Crisis trying to come back to life, or me playing this VR thing right now. But hey, I can laugh at myself. But yeah, Dino Crisis, that is my dream. That is my, like just to put it in perspective, if you told me I could have RE9 right now and I could have Dino Crisis, it's Dino Crisis any day of the week. It's not because I don't want to see RE9, I do, but I've seen so many Resident Evil games the last 2 decades. I've been absolutely like spoiled rotten with how many Resident Evil games that come out, man. Can I get like one Dino Crisis? Can I see poor Regina? Can she please return? Can I just relive my childhood, that T-Rex busting through the wall and just basically getting me a new box of Pampers in the process? But like, yeah, it needs to come back. But once again, as I said, this poll could be complete BS. This could be just, getting us all excited for nothing. So we have no idea. The only thing we could do is hopefully they can realize that, hey, there are other IPs out there other than Resident Evil. A lot of them need some love and care too, because they're all great franchises. I like to see them all return in a way. Okami is another one. I remember that with the dog. But like, the list goes on and how many IPs you can make an argument with that need to return. But I told you earlier I had an interesting question to ask about DinoCrisis. And I was thinking about this because I keep talking about, I want a DinoCrisis remake. But here's my question to you. If DinoCrisis were to come back, what would you rather want? A DinoCrisis remake or a DinoCrisis new game? Because there's a lot of people that are probably saying, hey, you know what? I want to maybe play like an actual DinoCrisis 3. Not the one that I just pretend don't exist, but an actual sequel to DinoCrisis 2, because how that game ended. So that did end on a very big cliffhanger. So, do we want a continuation of that? Me personally, I like a remake of the first one, honestly, because I just feel like I can see the potential if they can really nail it down, just how terrifying dinosaurs can be, especially in a survival horror environment. But I can see them really doing it well. But unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait and see if this whole election poll thing actually means something. And, as I said before, DinoCrisis and Regina herself were pretty high on these polls in a lot of categories. It wasn't just like a one-and-done thing. They were up there a lot. I mean, I think they had like, what was it, best game or something? DinoCrisis was number 2, which I was just kind of like stunned by. I think Devil May Cry 5 was number 1, but like my point being is just like, DinoCrisis up there, and yeah, you can say, maybe it was just a fanatical DinoCrisis fan just voting multiple times, and maybe they are, but like, hey, they're still out there to this day. They're almost dead and extinct, but they are still out there, just because we haven't seen anything in 2+ decades. And I just hope, as I said today, you can't even imagine me the day if that's ever revealed that they're bringing back Dino. You can't even imagine how I would feel. Like I would lose it. Like I would definitely lose it. You would see a grown ass man be squealing like a kid. I will not deny that. That would be my dream thing. But until then, all I can do is hope and pray for the best. But as I always like to say, that is my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. What IP from Capcom do you want to see brought back in the limelight that hasn't been used in God knows how long? And if you are like me and am a huge DinoCrisis fan, would you like to see a remake of the original 2? Or would you like to see a brand new title and an actual sequel to the second DinoCrisis 2? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. And hopefully I can get some better skills, because these skills ain't going to be paying no bills at this rate. But hopefully I get better by the next time I upload something. Thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you all later. Peace.